copy to Mr. Ayers' office. So that's how that.
So this is just a meeting, so I can put this in a minute. This is just a meeting between,
It's not a
the-
meeting.
the-
No, it'll be a return date for an argument. They're seeking a temporary restraining order and a preliminary injunction. So the purpose of our being in court that day will be an argument, a response to these papers and an
it
argument
will be an
with regard
actual
to
court
that.
session then. I should put it that it's a court session.
Yes, it's a court session.
All right.
What time?
Well, I believe 9:30 on October 12th.
So apparently Sarah was aware of this lawsuit before any board members because it's on an executive session on the agenda
I
tonight.
wouldn't have any way of knowing that.
I was
think
served as
Sarah-
well.
But I knew nothing
I was
about
served.
it. I mean, we haven't got.
Well, if I'm named in a lawsuit and you're served, and I don't understand why I'm not given a copy so that I can see why I'm being sued.
Mhm.
But that's, I don't know.
Well, Linda has a copy here at the office, right? So perhaps you could make some copies for the other board members and let them have that, so that they can read the contents of that paper.
Anything else?
Today was the return date for bids for the construction of the new town hall at 5 o'clock. I had a conversation with Mr. Barton and Mr. MacGyver, who were here at that time, and apparently the only bids received were ones in the category of the electrical work and a second bid in the category of the plumbing work. And there was no bid received for the general construction portion of the contract or of the construction project. So we had a conversation about that, and it is my opinion that inasmuch as we didn't receive a general contractor's bid, that the bids as received in their totality are not in conformity, because we cannot have electrical work done on a building that isn't being built, nor can we have plumbing being done on a building that isn't being, if there's no general contractor bid, then there is no building in which to install this equipment. So the board should take action formally tonight. I don't have a resolution because it happened so close to the time of this meeting, but it would be my recommendation that the board, in view of the fact that there was a lack of complete set of bids, all three bids in the three areas that were bid, that the board reject the bids that did come in and return them unopened to the respective bidders, so that should the project be rebid, their numbers would not be disclosed publicly and put them at a disadvantage, in as much as they took the time to submit bids, and I don't want to put them at any disadvantage by opening their bids and letting the entire world know what their thinking was with regard to their numbers. And the board would then be able to rebid the project at a later date. But I think it would be unfair to those two contractors that did bid to open their bids and then essentially expose their numbers to public scrutiny. And other bidders who might be out there in the future would have that knowledge to work with. So I don't think we could go forward on that basis, as they say, because there isn't a general contractor bid. And so that's an incomplete set of bid responses, I guess would be the better way to put it, as of today. So that would be my recommendation.
So
That's
now-
it. I'm
Now
sorry.
can we officially put it back out to bid if we wanted to?
Yes, there is nothing stopping us from rebidding the project at this time.
I make a motion that we put it back out again.
I'll second that.
We're still in reports. I don't know if we're in the part of
Oh.
the meeting that you should do that, but when we get to that point, we certainly make that motion.
We would have to then also make a motion to return those two bids.
Yeah, a motion to reject and return unopened the bids that were received today to the respective bidders. And then if you want to put it out to bid, you'll have to pick a new date and direct that the bidding legal notice be published of the rebidding of the project.
Attorney Subic, I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
In regards to the report of the assessor.
Mm-hmm.
To date, when Article 7 has been filed for the year by Canaan Properties, aka Dutchtown
Mhm.
Plaza, there was no continuation filed for Canaan-Jahari. To date, there have been no updates given to me for the Village of Canaan-Jahari lawsuit, but I understand the town attorney is handling that. I was under the impression.
Well, I was going to discuss that in executive
Okay.
session. We've had continuing discussions. I'll just say this much for the public session. We've had continuing discussions with the Village of Kansas area attorneys, including today. I had several conversations with him. We have an understanding going forward. I prepared a resolution tonight that would have perhaps resolved that, but I didn't get, by 5 o'clock today, I did not receive final word from him on that. So, although I have the resolution ready to go, we're not able to act on that at this time. With regard to the Cayman application under Article 7, the Dutchtown Plaza, it did appear before Judge Seiss on Monday morning, a special term, which was the return date for that petition initially. That's where I was served by Mr. Ayers. And we had a conference on that matter, and we worked out a scheduling order for that petition going forward. And that's kind of where that stands. But we worked out a tentative trial date for that case, which will be June of next year. So that's quite a long ways off. Let's see. Yes, the attorney for Cayman, Daniel Cayman, Palatine Bridge, which is the Dutchtown Plaza. We have a date to file our appraisal reports of April 29th and a trial date of June 29th of 2016. So that's quite a ways off in the future, but that was the results of that conference.
Can I ask you though, has the assessor been included in these conversations with you?
Well, I don't think she knows about the Cayman business because that happened just so recently. I thought perhaps I could see her tonight and fill her in on that. As far as the Village of Canada, she was present, at our last discussion about the board's position with regard to that, how that should be handled. And the proposal that was put forward was completely in keeping with that guidance that the board gave me about how that was to be handled. And I thought we were making good progress along those lines and still believe that that is the case. So there wasn't anything really that had changed with regard to that to inform the assessor about, because she was aware, of our position going forward there. But certainly I will be in touch with her if that need be the case.
I think we're always going to assume that anything you bring to us is then vetted also by the assessor.
Right. Well, again, there wasn't anything to vet because she knew the position, and that's the position I put forward. So nothing had changed with respect to that. So I think, if you, it certainly wouldn't be inappropriate to have an executive session tonight. We can go into a little more detail if you want to. I don't want to really discuss any more of the litigation in the public session.
It's on the agenda.
That's fine.
Moving to the supervisor's report. I was incredibly disappointed that we didn't get the records management grant. That was, really critical for us, and now we're going to need to do some work to come up with a way to preserve our permanent records, permanent and temporary records. But that storage unit is in a rough place. Actually, the summer in some ways is worse than the winter because you get all the mold. And we're now toward the end of that season. But there are holes in it where leaves blow in and snow blows in. So at a minimum, we should at least stop the holes. But I think we need to move very quickly on a solution for those records. Having been served with the Article 78 regarding the building construction process, I'm gonna hold off on any comments regarding the building. We do have an executive session planned for after council comments. And I just want to remind the board that no one of us has authorization to spend. We had an invoice from from another attorney that had been authorized by a council member. There's no budgeted line for that, so it's something that we always need. It needs to be budgeted for in advance, or we need an advance resolution. That's just the law. Paul, so you mentioned that you have a plan for putting forth a budget for the building.
There's no sense to it now.
So there's no,
Why, well, the first plan that I was going to answer to was null and voided by Judge Seiss. I can't assume anything. It only makes an ass out of you and me.
well, I think
So-
I just heard the board say that they are considering moving forward with the bid.
I still can't give you the exact numbers without already seeing the bids. I can't guess at what the contractors are going to come in at. So I thought tonight, okay, I thought tonight that I would turn around and if the bids were here, I'd give the
Well,
final
generally in
number.
this process, one would write the budget and then send the project to bid. So you can always estimate a budget. We also, having already been through the bidding process before, we have a pretty good sense of, close enough to what the different components of the project might be.
All right,
Those were the minutes. If anybody had read the minutes, it would have had the
Yeah.
budget in the minutes. They were recorded back then.
Okay,
I don't know why everybody says they didn't have it.
Because they said there was no formal budget at that meeting. Even Mr. Subic said there wasn't. The code book has
No,
not seen a
we didn't have
formal
a formal budget because we don't have bids.
These were the bids.
So
That's
this
the
is a
budget.
list of, in the minutes that
Okay,
Linda
yeah,
just.
you're
you
right,
see that,
right here.
Ray?
the lowest bid, et cetera, we had it $254,444. The electric was $32,856.50. The heating was $48,500. The clerk of the works was agreed at $9,600. Architect fees were $21,000. The feasible study was $4,500. And the estimated work done by the highway employees was $30,000. The total cost of the new town hall would be approximately, I repeat, approximately $417,690.52.
That was there was a 5% overage in that also
Right, and
added.
5%, and also the $30,000 grant from the court was not counted on that, which would have been the total project funds to $437,000.
Okay, so the minutes of a meeting are not necessarily a formal budget. This is very helpful in listing out some of the components. So, our suggestion to you was to create a formal budget. There are some things omitted from this list, like the cost of furnishings, the cost of the move. So anything else that might need to be added. And also now that this was, when were these minutes from? March. So this was back in March where, you've done some more site work, some more work with the architect on the site plan, so may have more specifics on what the site
Right.
work
Okay.
might cost.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with that. I'll
Okay.
put it together for
Yeah.
you.
Great. And Earl, we do have insurance, directors and officers insurance that we use through NYMER. We do pay a premium, and that information is public information.
Okay, thank you.
So it's budget season now. We're coming up with a budget that keeps out of our general fund is going to be a real challenge for us. Thank you to all of the department heads for getting your proposed budgets in to me. Kelly and I are now working with those numbers to figure out what we can come up with. But our tentative budget is due to Linda on Wednesday, September 30th. So we'll definitely get that in. Then the budget Linda then distributes the budget for the board members by October 5th. So each of you will have a copy. Just a heads up that staying within the property tax cap of 0.74% is going to be a challenge. And you know, we need to figure out how to make that happen without significantly dipping into our general fund. I've also I have with me a profit and loss report, if I can find it in front of me. It's a revenue and appropriation analysis report, which I'd like to present to you every month. That way you can see what's come in, what's gone out, what's in our various bank accounts. As of today, we have about, I should say, when we end the year, if we keep within the budget, we'll end this year with about $200,000 in general fund for highway and about $400,000, not including the money that's in the two bank accounts that we are calling the building fund, 400,000 in general fund, and then there's about 332,449 in the building fund, and 42,501 in that second building fund. And there are copies back there which I can get to you, and there's also copies available for the public.
Sir, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Is it possible to get a report to the department heads, say in August? I don't even know what I spent out of my contractual. I'm just going blind as to what my contractual should be.
Yeah.
Is it possible to get it to all the department heads so they know, just, you know, like in August, so we know what we have left so we can go from there?
Yeah.
'Cause, you know, I was going blind. I don't, and I'm sure all the other department heads were too, because we don't know exactly what we spent in our contractuals.
Right.
We know what we spent on our, you know, salaries, but not on the
Yeah.
contractual or any equipment or any of that.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Definitely. And in this analysis report that you'll receive every month, you'll see those, but also I can talk individually, especially with Artie. We should have a conversation, because coming up with making sure that we stay within that revenue cap is going to be tricky, and so we should talk together about it.
So are we gonna schedule a budget workshop or anything before?
We won't need to do one. The budget is due November 20th, so we'll have our next regular town board meeting and we can schedule one.
We usually do one, I think, before then, don't
We would do
Earlier
it.
in October usually,
It-
before
so-
our October meeting.
Yeah, we'll need to have a public hearing November 5th, that Thursday, and we would schedule the workshop for sometime after the public hearing, so we can incorporate the public input into the budget.
Well, we've always met before like right after the October 5th, when we are giving our copy of the preliminary budget, we usually have a workshop shortly after that so that we can work together and give our input. I mean, do even our own understanding changes.
I just wanna make sure that whatever happens in the during the public hearing, we can incorporate it into the budget.
Well, we can. We usually have a couple of workshops.
Okay, so you wanna do 2 workshops?
Well, it's nice to, when you're part of the budget, when you're have the authority over the township's monies, you want to have some.
Do you wanna do we could do the budget workshop as part of the regular board meeting in October?
No, we do that separately. We do it separately. We'd like to do it like the second, like, if we get the budget on the 5th, it would be nice if we could do it like the 12th or something like that on the Wednesday. Just so.
You still have a month after.
I realize that. I just like to have a little bit of understanding, especially having new board member.
What date do you propose?
The public hearing, did you say what date that was? I'm sorry. I
It'll
didn't-
be November 5th.
November
5th,
5th, to be the public hearing at what time, Sarah?
6:30.
6:30? Okay, I have to advertise for that, so. That, no, that's not when I'm gonna do the workshop, I have it.
That's the public hearing.
Okay. I have it public hearing.
So do it the Thursday after.
So they want to have a workshop for this thing, then, right? Because we have to vote on it when, we vote on the regular meeting, we're voting for the budget, or we're gonna have to set up another,
We'll
because
have
it's
to
the
do a
20th,
special meeting before
the regular meeting.
regular meeting because it's due on the 20th.
When's the 20th fall? Do you have a calendar?
Yeah.
How soon is it before our other meeting?
It's a Thursday,
It's a Thursday.
right?
November is a Friday.
November 20th is a Friday?
Yeah. And then our meeting is the 25th.
Yeah, so we could have the,
We could do that.
we could move the meeting up a week and then have that, and then it would be done by the 20th.
Yeah.
I think we've done that last year. I think we moved the
we
meeting
moved
up.
it up, yeah.
I think we moved the meeting up to get the budget, vote on the budget at the same time as the meeting.
And that is,
That would be
Wednesday,
done.
November 18th, the third Wednesday.
Because which is where's Thanksgiving? Well, Thanksgiving's down here, that would be the Thanksgiving, would be the day before Thanksgiving anyway. So maybe we want to move it on, I think.
Is that okay with people to move the November regular meeting would be moved to November 18th, and on that agenda would be to approve the budget. November 5th would be the public hearing, and then you wanted to schedule 2 workshops.
Well, I
Wednesday,
like
the
to have-
11th, is Veterans Day.
We have to have a motion.
Oh, yeah.
Can we do that?
But,
Yeah.
okay.
October 5th is a Monday, correct?
Is that the first Tuesday or the second Tuesday? The second Tuesday of the month is DA now.
First Tuesday. I mean, we're gonna get it the 5th, and we can just review it together on the 6th, I would say. How,
Okay.
to talk it through.
So do you want to have it on the thing? The sixth.
Tuesday, the 6th.
Budget workshop,
Budget workshop.
October 6th.
At
Okay.
6:30?
Is that okay with everybody? Ricky,
Yeah, I'm good.
that's all right with you, sir?
Yeah, that sounds good. Okay, and then if the board thinks a second workshop is necessary, we'll have our regular town board meeting on October 28th and could schedule another workshop if need be.
We have to, I need a refresher on that. I thought we could do the public hearing, it has to be done in November.
Has to be done after it has to be.
After the election day,
Okay,
right?
yeah.
2 days after election day, which is November 5th.
2 days?
Yeah, it just says November 5th on the sheet I got.
That's a specific date it has to be done?
No, it doesn't have, you can adjourn it. You're allowed to adjourn it until before the 15th. I can get the language. Do you know the
That's what I
specifics?
thought. I don't remember ever doing it specifically
I'll
at
get
the
the
fifth.
I have it in my office, but I don't remember what it is. I have to look at it every
I
day.
don't remember ever specifically on the fifth.